After watching Clarkson's Farm on Amazon Prime, I decided it would be interesting to drive an hour away and check out the famous Diddley Squat Farm Shop. Here's what happened on our first attempt to visit. Well, we came all the way here, but it was closed. There's this little shop with loads of people showing up in a constant stream for a shop that's closed. This is a car that he hired for the day from the Morgan factory. So what kind of car is this?
It's Morgan Plus 4 now, and it's got a 2-litre BMW engine, turbocharged BMW engine. It puts about 250-260 brake horsepower out. It's far too rapid really for these British roads. It's lots of fun. It handles very well. It's 2020 technology in an old lucky sports car.
In this video, I'll give you my review and recommendations about visiting Jeremy Clarkson's Diddley Squat Farm Shop. My first bit of advice is go on a day when the shop is open. The one thing you can do when the shop is closed is buy milk from the milk vending machine, or should I say cow juice vending machine. This is what the car park looks like on a day when the shop is closed. Now, let's show you what it looked like on our second attempt to visit the shop. So after doing more research about the farm shop, we discovered that a lot of people go to the farm shop and discover that there's like a 2-hour queue just to get into the shop. So our strategy on our second attempt to go to the shop is to leave early on a Thursday morning to try and get there right by the time it's opening or a little bit before. We'll see how it goes. It is 9:12 in the morning. The shop opens at 9:30, and at 9:12 there's already a queue like it's Disneyland. So if you think you can outsmart the queue by just arriving on a Thursday morning at 9:11 a.m., nope. A lot of other people had that same idea. It's crazy. So what do you do when you stand in a queue for 2 hours waiting to get into this tiny little farm shop? You make friends with all the people in line around you. And so we're getting suggestions on all the places that we need to visit in Kent and Yorkshire and everywhere else. And this lad here, he's really excited about buying some potatoes. What do you want to buy in the farm shop?
Well, as well as potatoes, and probably cow juice.
Cow juice.
Yes.
Ooh, what about bee juice?
Maybe, but I've never really had bee juice before.
Have you had honey?
No? Why not?
What? Really?
No.
Mum, he's been leading a sheltered life.
It's very sheltered, mainly jam in our house, or Marmite.
Oh my goodness.
And Marmite's very divisive.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's rather inhumane to feed your children Marmite.
It's £12.50 for a jar of honey.
Oh my goodness. What are you, from Yorkshire? Okay, we have stood in the 2-hour queue for an hour and a half, and we are now about to go in. I'm going to give you a quick tour of the contents of the farm shop so that you can see what products are for sale. butter, single Gloucester cheese, goat cheese, Cotswold blue cheese, Oxford blue, Godminster or Gumster, depending on who you ask, and black bum or Welsh cheese. Okay, one thing I can tell you for sure is I did not come all the way to England to buy Mexican seasoning. Those look good. Those look so good. There's the vegetables nobody's buying because nobody eats vegetables. Shop if you don't want to wait in the queue for the full farm shop. When we arrived at 9:15, there was no queue for the pop-up shop, but now there is a huge queue with hundreds of people, even for the pop-up shop. Inside the pop-up shop, you can get most of the items except for the refrigerated meats and cheeses and butter and the fresh vegetables, but you can get honey and the sweets and all of the textiles, the clothing items, bags, etc., as well as the bottles so that you can go get your own cow juice from the vending machine. And because the Clarkson Enterprise realized that people will come a long way and spend a lot of time here, they have added onto the shop complex a large area with a food truck serving hot food and a bar serving drinks. And of course, there are also diddly squat toilets. So if you're curious what other farm shops in England look like, I'm going to show you some of those. But first, let's talk about should you come to Diddly Squat Farm Shop. Well, it is in the gorgeous Cotswolds. It is a beautiful setting. And if you just need to buy extremely overpriced merch and brag to your friends that you've come, go ahead, but I would recommend arriving at like 8:30 in the morning and just bring a camp chair and sit at the beginning of the queue and wait for the shop to open up at 9:30. Please be sure to like this video and leave me a comment. Let me know if you would bother coming to Diddly Squat Farm Shop or if you'd just like to go to other farm shops in England. So after visiting Diddly Squat Farm Shop, we decided to stop by the nearby Daylesford Organic Farm Shop to check it out, since it's allegedly the farm shop that inspired Jeremy to create his own Diddly Squat Farm Shop. What I was not expecting was how busy it would be here. There are hundreds of cars. So let's go check it out. There better not be a 2-hour queue to get into this farm shop. It appears there are some automobile enthusiasts that also come to visit this farm shop. It ain't a tractor, but it's a Lambo. This compound is absolutely massive. They've got a wellness retreat and all kinds of event center stuff going on in here. Daylesford is way more than just a farm shop. It's also a garden shop and a home shop and a restaurant. But let's go look in the farm shop. Here's the best part of the whole farm shop, the cheese room. It's chilly in here, but boy, do they have a lot of gorgeous cheeses. I'm not gonna lie, it smells a little funky in here, but it's totally worth it for all the deliciousness. This isn't really a farm shop, it's really a farm supermarket. They have everything here. Also known as yogurt. Oh, that custard looks lush. Beautiful soups and pasta sauce. The baked goods look amazing. Black pudding, I can't get away from it. Honey on tap. Daylesford beet juice. So the bad news is that I'm trying to go back in and get our dessert, and it's chucking it down. But the good news is, it gives me an opportunity to use my fun magenta and black umbrella and my fun magenta and black wellies. We had a cruffin and a white chocolate passion fruit donut, which both were yummy. Primrose Vale is a pick-your-own farm and shop near where we live in Cheltenham. I'll give you a quick peek inside this shop, which is a more standard farm shop, but still has delicious products on offer. There's a nice selection of fresh fruits and veg, locally grown, as well as local Cotswold honey, and some very British treats like meringues and raspberry biscuits. In my favorite section, there was a selection of artisan cheeses with interesting names like Three Virgins, Hooded Monk, and Holy Smoked, as well as Quick's Buttery cheese, which is the one I bought. It was creamy and delicious. There was also some locally produced double cream, which I wanted to buy, but as I mentioned in my Things I Love About the UK video, I was trying to kick my double cream addiction at the time. Finally, there was a nice selection of my favorite potato crisps made in Herefordshire, which I'm showing here just because I think their packaging designs are so great. The last farm shop I'll share is Hayles Fruit Farm. They are located near the historic Hayles Abbey. This farm has acres of pick-your-own strawberries as well as an orchard tea room. Again, I'll show you a quick tour of the inside of their farm shop. They had a lovely assortment of fresh produce, including a very British selection of root veg and a type of bean I'd never heard of before, bobby beans. I really loved their baked goods display, including the very British lardy cakes and hot cross buns, although I chose to take home the tea cakes, which were soft and fluffy and tasty. I had to snap photos of several more things I would not see in a grocery store in Texas, like sticky marmalade cake, flapjacks, millionaires, treacle tarts, bakewells, and last and least, fruitcakes. They probably are delicious, but like the average American, I don't really think fruitcakes are something one should eat. The refrigerated section had some nice-looking clotted creams, some very interesting cheeses with ingredients and names that caught my eye, like Worcester sauce, scrumpy apples, and the unique Worcestershire hop. And of course, I have to point out the goose fat. We Americans obviously don't know how to properly make roast potatoes because you won't see this in the average American supermarket. Just like you won't see Badger's cider or a wide array of elderflower and other fruity cordials. Like the other farm shops, this one also had honey, and I have to point out the runny as well as the creamed honey, something that sadly we don't get in the US either. And finally, I had to show some sweets in this farm shop, which either had really English-sounding flavors or just varieties of sweets with some interesting names I had never heard of before.
The staff just explained to us that the pick-your-own vines of strawberries are all elevated up on tables, which is great because it's easier to keep the pests out and weeds out and water them, but also it's easier for us to pick them without bending all the way over to the ground.
I hope you enjoyed coming along on our visits to some farm shops. Thanks so much for watching, and do something good in the world today.